A week after the fall of the Assad regime, many Syrians who fled the country are trying to return home. They've been scattered across the Middle East region, with a large number in Lebanon.
Some haven't been home for more than a decade. Middle East correspondent Matthew Doran is on the Lebanon-Syria border.
This is the Masna border crossing between Lebanon and Syria, and here on the Lebanese side there is a steady stream of traffic coming through, wanting to get into Syria. This is a mixture of people. It's not just Syrians wanting to go back into the country, although there are plenty of them, and certainly we've spoken to some who have not set foot inside Syria for many years. But there are also plenty of Lebanese people wanting to go back into Syria, happy to see the fall of the Assad regime and seeing this as a moment of victory not only for Syria but for Lebanon too. There's a long line of cars stretching down into the town of Masna. Now these are in some cases taxis being hired from parts of Lebanon to drive people into Syria to drop them at the border. We're also seeing that on the other side, some people crossing the border on foot after having been dropped off by Syrian taxi drivers. There's also freight going in, big trucks carrying all sorts of goods, not only personal belongings. We've seen even a couple of white goods in the back of trucks at the moment, but also various other goods to take into Syria and then to sell. There has been movement across this border even when the Assad regime was in office, but now it has certainly changed. That dynamic has changed and more people are trying to get into the country. There is a bit of tension here though, because it was at this crossing where it's alleged, and you can hear some of the traffic, people aren't too happy about the delays that they're experiencing here. Not quite sure what that horn is going to be achieving given the traffic jam, but it was at this crossing in the days leading up to the Assad regime falling where it is alleged that senior members of the Assad regime, some of President Bashar al-Assad's closest confidants, were able to slip across the border rather, into Lebanon. These are people who were his right-hand men, responsible in some instances for some of the gravest conduct of the Assad regime during its 24 years under Bashar al-Assad, but more than 50 years under the Assad family, and they are now believed to be hiding in luxury hotels in Beirut. This is such a contentious issue here in Lebanon, a country dealing with much of its own problems, that one individual, it's reported, has been sacked from the border police, from the border officials for taking bribes, allowing these people in. The links with Hezbollah there, a weakened force here in Lebanon, a backer of the Assad regime, but still resourceful enough to help get these people into Lebanon before the Assad regime fell. So we're expecting to see plenty more traffic coming through this border crossing in the coming hours, the coming weeks and the coming months, as this country, the people here in Lebanon, deal with a neighbour which they say has been liberated from many years of tyranny.